Homewatch Connect is a system that is attached to a smart device in the home, kind of reach when you look at in home care using skilled and the non medical. Where we've branched out outside of our technology with the Homewatch Connect and our Wellness Hub.
Before you explore franchise options, take a few minutes to understand how you are wired. The assessment link is below. Welcome to Franchise Focus. Most home care brands lead with heart. The strongest ones pair heart with discipline and systems. Today, we're talking about a brand built on both. Homewatch Caregivers has a long-standing reputation for culture and consistency, built on the belief that care quality improves only when people are supported by clear systems and real accountability. They are part of Authority Brand's ecosystem, meaning owners operate inside a strong infrastructure of data and operational support. What makes this conversation timely is the evolution. They've expanded into nursing services and a subscription style care model called Total Care Solutions. We're going to dive into how this model works, what the owner role actually looks like, and where discipline matters most. My guest is Samantha Wallace, Franchise Development Manager at Caregivers. Welcome, Samantha.
Thank you, Laura. I appreciate you having me today.
Oh, excited to. Can you give a little bit of background about yourself and how you came to be with Authority Brands and Homewatch?
Absolutely. So I'm an Ohio girl at heart. Live in Phoenix, Arizona now for the past 26 years. And I started my franchise career in 2010 with an emerging concept out of Scottsdale, Arizona. And it was a spa focused on laser massage and skin health. Later transitioned into more larger corporations after we sold to a private equity group in
Hmm.
2017 and found myself with Authority Brands a few years back. And when I was presented with the opportunity to represent Homewatch Caregivers, I was like, what is a Homewatch Caregiver? Like, I don't even know what that is. Like, how am I going to present something? Because I was so wrapped up in the health and wellness side. And they're like, well, it actually aligns perfectly with your background because it is focused on health and wellness and people. And their focus is taking care of people inside of their home, providing that longevity, working with loneliness, isolation, and depression, and focused on wellness. And I was like, okay, I can wrap my arms around this. And so my journey with Authority Brands started with the Homewatch Caregivers concept, and we've changed so much since I started 2022. And since then, we've really evolved into a completely different brand than the non-medical side of what we started with, and that
Right.
was almost 46 years ago come February.
Wow. Wow. What a journey. Wow. I mean, and great background. So let's walk into that transformation, that change in the brand and kind of the why behind it.
Absolutely. So the why is a very strong point to start with. When we're looking at an opportunity for a new entrepreneur to come into Homewatch Caregivers, they need to bring a strong why. And they need to have a personal journey that I can relate with initially because that's what their clients are going to relate to is their why, their journey, their story. And they have to build that rapport, that trust and credibility with me first, but then also with their audience of their clients and also their caregiving team. The evolution of where we started 46 years ago was really about it was a pet business, evolved into a people business, and then transitioned more into a complete non medical space focused on personal care services and companion care services.
Hmm.
Fast forward to 2017 when Authority Brands acquired Homewatch Caregivers from Paul Sauer, and that's the original owner and founder, headquartered in Denver, Colorado, where our franchise support center is still today. Although we are transitioning into our Atlanta office with
Hmm.
Authority Brands, the concept changed hands and the new model kind of laid the foundation as far as how we were going to transition after the pandemic when we saw that there were a lot of gaps in the space that needed to be addressed.
Hmm.
We focused on the interoperability. We also looked at the gap in communication, the use of technology or lack thereof,
Hmm.
also expanding the scope of services. And when you look at this space in particular, the in home care space is really identified as the senior care space. And we do not align with senior care per se anymore. We focus on the in home care concept of all age care, so pediatrics through end of life. The total care solutions model really developed in 2024 under our leadership team now. So Todd Hooten, who's our brand president, Curtis Weider, and his grow team, they really established this new scope where any type of service that an individual is looking to receive, we're going to check that box and we're not going to have to say it's out of our scope and turn away that client because of age, because of disease, because of a personal condition that we cannot fulfill a need for. Today, we've expanded that scope into more of the medical side as well, which is extremely exciting for me to be able to talk about because the non medical space is established. Like we have all of our competitors in that lane. Where we've branched out outside of our technology with the Homewatch Connect and our Wellness Hub is to bring on the skilled side. And most of the people that I'm talking to that are experiencing, the new kind of franchise within a franchise that we're creating are interested in the services of the skilled. And that means private duty nursing inside of the home.
Right.
There's a lot of opportunity with this right now. There's a lot of white space as far as the coverage that we can kind of reach when you look at in-home care using skilled and the non-medical. There are several states that do need a nurse on their staff anyway for the state regulation fulfillment. And those that do not, we will talk to them about how they can bring on contract labor through nurses to come in and do the services. It's something that is not as new to some, like there's like one or two models out there that do offer either medical staffing or in-home care private duty nursing. But for us, 2024 was really kind of establishing the footprint. 2025, we had 6 offices that have achieved over 6 figures in revenue monthly from the skilled service lines. And now we've got 37 offices that are transitioning at the moment to get their CHAPS accreditation to come in. And of the last placements that we've done with Homewatch, I would say more than 60% of them are coming into the system, not only because of the technology, but because we have the option for them to bring on the skill.
And are they launching those that are coming on? Are they launching right away with all services?
So right now it's still optional.
Mhm.
And when you look at the categories of our services, we have 3 different buckets. So it's essential, recovery focused, and then specialized. They're all going to open under the non-medical footprint. If they
Okay.
choose to come in and they want to go through the accreditation process to open under skilled, there's a few things that our team goes will have to fulfill as far as like a CHAPS accreditation and then state requirements. We have a conversation with them separately with our skilled team so that way they can see what the state requires outside of the non-medical license, but there are some kind of nuances as well. Not something that would cause somebody to say, "Oh no, I don't want to do this." But there's a certain level of like an accounts receivable that we have to be able to show the state. You
Right.
have to be able to have like 6 to 10 clients on your non-medical side to be able to show the state, yes, we are an established business. We've got the credibility. Now we're going to bring on the nursing services. So they can't launch it at the same time.
Right.
They can run it in parallel.
Gotcha. Okay. And you talked about the total care solution. Talk through why this is such a game changer, how no one else, and how that helps the people you're helping as well as the franchise owners.
Yeah, so great question. The total care solutions, that concept it evolved away from a bill by the hour model. And when we look at how the caregiver needs to be protected as far as their wages and the hours for them to be able to do services to have their ends met, and then the owner's protection, making sure that not only when we create a care plan, but everything that we're going to do that month is listed inside of that care plan. And we're never going to have a conversation with somebody that's calling in for a consultation that asks a question and says, "Oh, can you tell me how much you are for personal care services by the hour?" Because
Mm.
that's going to pigeonhole them into set in this rate because we already discussed it. We want to go into the home and do an assessment on the IADLs and the ADLs, and then look at how many different types of services need to fall within one day. And within that day, you may have like 5 ambulations, you may have 2 feedings, 1 bathing, you may be meal prepping for more than one person. And so
Hmm.
you don't want to ever put yourself in a position in a consultation until you're in the home. Once you're in the home, they're going to have that complete care plan. And that's what we call a total care solution because
Okay.
it's everything from when the caregiver arrives to when the caregiver leaves and how many minutes and hours are designed to create that package. Now, the owner of the business will present that package and then it's bundled together. So it's not going to be an itemized breakdown of cost per hour. So there everything has a different weighted value, whether it's a premium service or a standard service. Also the technology component. So if they're adding in the Homewatch Connect services, it goes from basic to premium. Plus there's a an addition as far as the sensors, how many sensors we're putting in the home, and that has a cost. Also, the quality assurance visits, that's built in every 30 days. So, is that a nurse doing the quality assurance visit or is that a care coordinator? And so,
Hmm.
all that has a weighted value. And when it's presented to the client, they're going to sign a contract, but they're going to have that presented in such a way that it's going to make sense for them and they know what they're paying for and they can budget for that. Because when they're let me backtrack. So about 80% of our business is private pay. The
Right.
balance is going to be broken up into different government assisted, VA aid and attendance, and long term care, backup care, Medicare, Medicaid. All of those are going to be the other 20%. If it's a pay client, you're going to be able to look at that invoice that comes to you and you say, okay, here's the contract, maybe in excess of $4,500 that month. They're going to pay for those services in advance, but you can break up the payment, whether that's weekly, biweekly, or in the full month. But we love the total care solutions because it aligns with how families can budget. Number one, they can
Right.
see what they're getting in the service plan. Number two, and every 30 days, if it needs to be adjusted, we can do that on the fly. Also, for the caregiver, it can protect their hours. So, private pay clients, because they're paying in advance,
Hmm.
number one. Number two, the caregiver gets scheduled. And if the caregiver gets scheduled and there's a cancellation, then the caregiver can still earn their pay and earn their hours. They can be utilized in different parts of the business versus losing that shift. So we
That's
look at turnover the past year and our
hmm
workforce solutions growth. Turnover for us is right around 44%. So that's
very good.
pretty low in this industry. Uh,
Yes.
and we attribute that to the culture, the training through the academy, also being able to provide benefits to them in that competitive package with the private pay clients.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot for
You know,
someone to take. Yeah. Huge comparison. When you talked about the technology, the Home Connect, what is that?
so Homewatch Connect is a system that is attached to a smart device in the home, a
Hmm.
television, and it's connected through HDMI, and it has its own personal little remote control that goes into the home. It's a pre-programmed system that goes into the family's home that allows for communication between caregivers, and we call that a wellness visit. They can log on, call in, have a consultation with their clients, and be able to check in on them.
Hmm.
Typically, those visits are anywhere between 10 minutes to maybe a half hour at the most. But also, inside of the system, it's designed to allow connected, trusted contacts to be able to call in and communicate with their loved ones, friends,
Hmm.
family, as well as providers. So, if there's any medical appointments that they can do check ins for, we can do that through the system as well. It also has the ability to detect sound and motion, heat, humidity, and it can tap into Bluetooth and be able to check your vitals. So it basically is a full package that can keep an individual on track with medication reminders, appointment reminders, the health and wellness visits, communication, so that way you're not just kind of on the phone, but you see somebody on camera that you know, that you trust, that you love, that you want to have a conversation with. And it does help with that communication as far as loneliness, isolation, and depression that we saw the gap from the pandemic kind of put front and center in everyone's eyes.
Right. Wow. Amazing. And you talked about the training and your lower turnover rate because that is a lower turnover rate. What's unique about your training and how does that work in terms of a franchisee rolling it out to their employees or their caregivers?
Great question. So the training system that we designed in 2023 is called Creator of the Caregiver. And we were recognized as the top company for our workforce solutions playbook that we developed.
Hmm.
And that is designed around creating a caregiver. Caregivers for us can come in with no background. That would be an informal caregiver to somebody that, maybe they're a retired nurse and they're looking for part time work. We're
Hmm.
going to have every caregiver follow the state requirements, and then we're going to exceed the requirements that the state puts in place. For example, in California, you have to enter every caregiver that you hire into a portal, and that employee has to be identified. For us, they're going to go through a background check, a drug test, copy of their driving record, and some states require a TB test. That's an annual check that we have to do. Most of our owners are going to hire eventually a care coordinator to oversee that. The training that we provide through the academy is a 12-hour annual training that they have to take. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. The training is designed to go through our wellness program, then our personal care services, as well as our complex cases. So they get certified in each of those. But not every caregiver is going to fill all of those buckets. So we want to make sure that if they want to advance their career, they can go through the curriculum, through the academy, and continue to get that education to further their skill sets. The owner's responsibility would be to identify, interview, screen, and really bring on that caregiver. Once they have gone through the job offer, they put them through an orientation process, and then they go through the academy. The owner's role really is focused on that orientation and making sure they're identifying their A team. As far as the training, our academy does the training. So they get a username, login, they go through the training, and then they get their certifications. We recommend that they do the trainings inside of the office and not at home, so we can
Hmm.
ensure they took the training. And we also offer what we call certified dementia specialist training. The offices can go through a 20-hour program. It takes 7 weeks to complete, but once they're done with the program, they can then train the trainer, meaning that's the program that we
Hmm.
offer. And then their caregivers can go through kind of a modified version, but
Yeah,
they can get a professional license through Homewatch Caregivers to offer certified dementia specialist training.
that is fantastic. So we talked a lot about the client side of things. In terms of the franchisee or the person coming in, what are they typically doing? How are they getting customers? How does that all flow?
So, customers, clients, it's twofold for us. We do a lot of brand recognition advertising through the brand fund on a national level.
Hmm.
We have a lot of strong markets out there that have very strong regional presence. So, that's natural organic groundswell as far as like when we look at an owner, the next owner in the market next to them, we want to make sure that there's a lot of synergy between the offices, although their rates may be different. But this is a brand that focuses on a community, but also the owner's profiles because their Google ranking is just as important as your Google ranking, right? We want to strive for that 5.0. Uh,
Hmm.
Leads are going to come from the referral partner network, which that's one of the roles that they have to hire for, or they take that position themselves. And that's the community outreach coordinator. Some of them call it a business development manager or a COCO, community outreach coordinator is the term that the company uses.
Okay.
That role is not a hybrid role. That role is designed to have a very strong blueprint for success for them to be able to get inside of the network of your hospitals, senior nursing facilities, independent living, assisted living. The referrals from those leads based on the groundwork that that person puts in place, naturally they're going to call the office and say, we have a client that's being discharged. This is the type of care that they need. Do you have a caregiver that fits this? Can you meet with the client? So that's one way that we get referrals. The second one is going to be from your clients, establishing the relationships with the people that you're already in contract with. They have
Yeah.
friends and family. So it's really communication. And that's why when I start to talk to prospects that come in, my communication with them and establishing that rapport, that trust, that credibility right away,
Hmm.
really, I believe helps us find those owners that are going to succeed very early on in the process versus kind of getting stuck in of a what did I get myself into? Because I'm not a people person.
Yeah.
But being a people person, being involved in your community, having that strong presence, that's where you're also going to get your leads. So it's from the referrals, it's from the marketing, and it's also from the community. There's definitely several avenues.
Gotcha. Are they doing local digital marketing as well? That's bringing.
We do local digital marketing through the website. We also have social media marketing that will funnel down. They have a complete marketing toolbox that they can customize any content that we've created. And we also have a communications manager that will work with them at the community level.
Wonderful. So we talked about the owner, kind of the owner profile. Any other qualities of the owner that are important to you that you're looking for?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, personality is huge. If I feel that you're coming into this looking at numbers,
Hmm.
probably not a good fit right away because numbers are going to be there. Our brand president will tell you, like, we can feed you profitability all day, but unless you're a people person first, like, nobody's going to want to trust or buy from you. So that's number one. Being an entrepreneur in this space, this is a 24/7 business. So I like to tell people, I don't care if you own a firehouse subs, you're still a 24/7 business owner because you are a business owner. But in
Yeah.
this space, you have to look at phone calls that may come in the evenings, overnight, on holidays because people need you. Unless you can get past that and say, okay, my phone's always on, it's it's probably not a good fit for you because your phone is always on. Someone's always going to need help. You're like, you could be thinking of this as like an emergency department. You never know who's going to walk in at any given time when that phone's going to ring. We do track abandonment rates as well. So we know our owners that are active, we know those that are marketing, we have KPIs that we follow. I go through all of that in my initial conversation to make sure they understand like owner profile is this. We want you to be engaged. You've got to create culture with your team. You got to have an environment where your caregivers want to show up to work for you. You know, they want to be involved because you're not going to see your caregivers. You got to know two things: who your clients are and where your caregivers are. That's the focus.
Yep.
Everything that you do Monday through Friday, you should be focused on generating revenue for your business because the demand is there. Don't
Yeah.
step away from that mindset. Think big. And if you can't come into this thinking big, then find something else because the demand is there. Our system is there to support you. You've got the solution that they need. It's just, do you have that mindset, that growth mindset to achieve it? Because that's the type of owner that I want to bring on is the people that come in and say, I can make this something really big, be involved in my community. It's going to fulfill me. It's going to be hard work, but
Mhm.
I'm going to get that end of the day satisfaction that I'm not getting from possibly your corporate job.
Wow, that's really helpful. I would imagine it's really helpful for um, candidates to consider all this and mindful of that, and really helpful for me from a perspective. The first 12 months, what does that typically look like? What are the biggest challenges an owner tends to face in that time period?
I would say the biggest challenge would be not following the process. Like if you come in and you think you're going to recreate the wheel, again, probably not a fit because
Mhm.
if you step away from the system is designed to help you succeed.
Yeah.
46 years we've been doing this. We've refined the systems time and time again. Our system is fully integrated with the next level of care, meaning the AI component, the technology, our back
Mhm.
end office support. Your first 12 months as an owner, you're going to be juggling a lot of balls, spinning plates everywhere. It's identifying your team and knowing where to delegate because you can't do it all. I have owners that I've personally placed, people that I know, I love, and I care about that are still in that mindset of I'm an employee. You're not an employee, you're an owner, and you need to delegate. And if you can't delegate, again, probably not a good business for you because you're going to have a caregiving team that's going to start small, maybe 5 to 8 month one. But
Mhm.
for your client, you have 1.5 caregivers per client.
Okay.
And if our numbers we're seeing in our last FDD at 2.55 million average unit volume, you've got 50% of your income coming in going straight to payroll. And
Yep.
then you've got another 15% in office expenses. If you can't delegate and you're doing everything yourself, those numbers are going to suffer. So
Yeah.
I always tell people your year one is your ramp. Can you break even? Let's talk about where that number is for you. I'll see if we can have that conversation to help you get there. Because some people don't know what their break even is initially. They're like, I have no idea.
Mm.
They always ask, like, where am I going to make money in this business? How quickly can I break even? We need to have a unit economics call and talk about it. And it's hiring. It's hiring your team, right? You do have to have an office. You've got to have your caregivers. And the more caregivers that you have that are educated and tenured and ready to go, then the more clients you're going to be able to take on year one. But we'll always tell people year one is your ramp year. Don't expect to like walk away making $1 million year one because it's going to take time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm sure there's moments where, well, everybody like business ownership, it's hard. And it's got to be hard at times when you get caught up in some of the emotional aspect of this business. It's not the easiest, but it's got to be very rewarding. What's a question you wish every candidate would ask you as they're going through it?
Something simple like, "How's your day?" Right? Because when you make that personal connection, "How was your day?" That's what people wanna hear. Oh, you're coming into people's lives, into their homes, your family for people that may not have family, and the simple things get overlooked all the time, and people think, like, big picture. They're thinking 3 months down the road, but they're not thinking about being present and here today, and that's what we do. We're here to be present in people's lives and to give them the care that they need today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised. It's today. So if somebody asks me, how's my day? Then I know they have a genuine heart, they have true empathy, and they actually have compassion and care. And to me, that's going to be a great sign for a great owner. And I can get emotional about this because I have a lot of really close connections with our owners because
Yeah.
we have that trust that we've built in the discovery process.
Yeah, no, that is fantastic. What a great answer. As simple as that. That is so great. The future, what do you see the future for Homewatch?
I see us expanding our nursing services. And like I said before, the non medical footprint's well established. We have a lot of owners that have been with us 20 plus years that are
Wow.
made a lot of money on that footprint.
Hmm.
Now expanding the nursing services, it's just another level of excitement that we can talk about. I mean, 2 years ago, all I talked about was Homewatch Connect, and now it's like now we got this nursing services, and it is
Right,
a franchise bubbling within a franchise because it's a
right.
whole new revenue stream that didn't exist for our company a year and a half ago.
That is fantastic. This has really been a great overview. Anything else that you want to share with perspective?
Yeah, I would just say like if you're looking at a company that has very strong culture, you are part of a team that's coming in with a lot of passion and motivation just to change people's lives every day, then we tend to go by our logo here, expert care, caring experts. We stick by that and we aim for high customer client satisfaction ratings. Our CEO has a 93% approval rating. We're a great core unit, I
Mhm.
feel, not only at the franchise support center level, but as our whole network of owners together. It's just really connected. And that's what I love because it's something, even for me coming in, not knowing what this company was about,
Yeah.
where we are today, it's something really special. And I'm very happy to be a part of it.
I've been at your one of your offices and it is very palpable. I mean, the culture and your organization screams through everyone and it's different. It's definitely different. And I've seen a lot of these franchises, but so impressive. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, Samantha, and
Thank you. It was
looking
fun.
forward to working together.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. All right.